You, who are you? It is me asking this question, but we both know you wanted to ask this yourself long time ago. What were your expectations by clicking on this video? That I will tell you why you feel lonely? Or that I will tell you about a hidden animal inside you? Perhaps you wanted to hear about some hidden evil that made your life miserable. None of those are what you truly seek, because what you want to know is, how can I improve? All those thoughts are what makes you being you and what you fear. The simple answer to everything is, become fearless. But how can one become fearless if he doesn't understand himself? That human cannot. It is simply impossible. Then the question you seek right now is, who am I? And with that, the first step on this long road has been made. Or so you would think. You already know who you are, or better said, your soul knows your true self, and you just have to ask it. Don't know how to do that? Right, because you have never tried it. In past, your parents told you that you will be a lawyer, medic, programmer, or you are lucky to choose by yourself. However, it was never about what you want, but about what you should. Although the society has never given you an opportunity to discover yourself, you somehow did it, and that is represented throughout your hobbies. Your only hobbies are playing games and drinking? Excuse my mistake, but aren't you good with PC or car stuff? Oh, and no, I am not telling that you are an expert, but who got that good deal when buying the laptop? It was you. Maybe you're not a PC nerd, but you could force yourself to get good with tech just to get a good deal. Also, when you hear your friends talking about IT stuff, you enter the conversation and have a lot to say. This is your true form. The guy that managed to learn about computers just to get a good deal, and also the guy that can speak about them at ease. In short, there is a hidden monster inside you that helps whenever you are serious about something. Your only problem is bringing him out. It somehow comes out when you need to save money or get a good deal in things you understand. But it doesn't come out in your daily life activities and when you do something you don't like. That is the thing. Deep inside you understand that once you get serious about something, you can get it done, but are afraid of getting serious. You don't want to use your brain doing shit that you don't understand or dislike. Thinking is a hard and uncomfortable process, so your brain tries to limit as much as possible. That is just how biology works, nothing wrong with you in particular. Our brain tries its best to reduce the amount of thinking we do during a day, and that is called subconscious. When we do an activity, like driving for a long period of time, it starts to become an automated process, which we don't have to think about while doing. For example, eating. When is the last time you thought about how you hold the fork or knife? But when you try to eat sushi with the sticks, you struggle and it's frustrating. It is annoying for your brain because it has to learn how to use the chopsticks. It has to think. And in order to reduce that, after the third time you ate sushi, you already knew how to eat them. Aka, you use your subconscious, and now you can focus on the film while enjoying your food. So the monster inside you is a picky one and it does not want to come out because it hates struggling. True, but when it comes out, you know it is just a matter of time until you get done what you wanted. Now the question is how to make it come out. That is a hard question, because you are afraid of that monster. You don't want to struggle when there is a quick source of dopamine called online games. It is much easier to get pleasure from saving the princess from the bad guy. For those that don't know, dopamine is the hormone of pleasure. Yes, our whole lives are based off search of dopamine. The more we want it, the more we take our monster out to achieve it. When you play a game and you want to win, you give it all your best and you even get angry if you fail or die a couple of times. That is true anger, because you almost hit something and because you tried your best to win. When you finally beat the game, you become one of the happiest men in the world because you achieved something. You finally beat the game after so much struggle and so many deaths. It took you dozens of hours to beat the game, but you did it. However, here is the problem. Beating a game takes dozens of hours, when creating a successful business takes months, if not years. And you remember that your inner monster doesn't want to struggle. In fact, you are afraid to try it. You ask yourself, what if it won't work out? You are afraid to lose years of your life for nothing and end up regretting it. But that is something normal, and normal people end up regretting about it at the verge of death. On the deathbed, they tell us that they regret living for hours and working so hard. They tell us that they regret not enjoying life and doing what they wanted. They tell us they wanted to spend more time with their families. A lot of regrets, but the one that touched you the most is regret living for hours and working so hard. Let me translate that. I regret trying to show my wealth when it doesn't matter. Indeed, flexing your supreme outfit and using 100% of your brain power for a paycheck is meaningless. But what is not meaningless is taking out the monster inside you and doing what you want as a self-employed, or even creating a business that will last generations. This is something that requires you to use all your knowledge and experience to succeed. And the most beautiful thing is that you will not regret if it doesn't work out. I will die trying. Those are the words you can say, but you do not listen to. Those are frightening words that give you an objective in life and that give you a lot of hard time if you try achieving it. You feel fear towards that objective, and that is normal. Or so would I say if you didn't choose to make $1 million. Look at yourself, small man. Why did you put such a big goal when you don't even have 100,000 a year? And the point here is not in money. I am speaking about gigantic goals when you have little to no experience and couldn't even achieve small targets. How can the monster inside you come out when he doesn't see the path to success? There is no path. You didn't build one. And yes, you might be doing something to achieve your wish, but does it work out? Don't be optimistic. We all know it doesn't. Give you another 3 months and you'll burn out and get a lot of disbelief in yourself. So did the people that regret working so hard. And how will you ever come back to the grind if the only thing you have left from your past experience is pain? You are unstoppable, yet you don't realize it. Having a monster that is hibernating is a good thing, but better to wake it up as soon as possible. In the end, you have only one life, so don't waste it. And you don't have to listen to me. There are fearless people out there that managed to do it, so why can't you? How are we better than you? Most successful people in the world are self-made and started in similar conditions as you, if not even worse. Did they not have any fear? Of course they had it, but hard life circumstances made their monsters come out and start the hunt. Most of the people from above were struggling and had to do something in order to survive. The ones that were born with a candy in hand put themselves in hard conditions in order to improve. Let's look at Andrew Tate, for example. I don't have any opinion about Tate, but he is just a good example. Tate put himself in hard conditions, which is talking negatively about modern society and Western countries, alongside telling he is paying Romanian police for protection. Because of the last, he got arrested. Now, if he gets out, he will gain a huge auditory, even more than he had before, and will likely make more money. If he does not, he is fucked. So, we have a rich guy that wanted even more. Because of that, he put himself in hard conditions to achieve that more. I know my example was about starting as a poor guy, but what he did could have been done by anybody. However, nobody was ready for the consequences, and that is why Tate is a great example. He took the monster inside him out and let it have fun. He accepted to struggle, and this is what you and I should be doing. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying to copy Tate, I am saying to take the monster out and accept the struggle. A different example would be Elon Musk. His company Tesla has almost gone bankrupt 3 times before it became a $1 trillion company, and Elon invested a couple of times all the money he had left into it just to stay alive for 1 more month. Once again, we have an example of a monster inside everybody of us coming out and giving it all to survive. Meanwhile, at your 16 years of life, or however old you are, you probably have a job, live with your parents, and that's all. Didn't speak about love because it's statistically unlikely that you have a girlfriend. So, when is the monster coming out? When is the true form of yourself coming out? Or are you still fearful? If so, why not putting yourself outside your comfort zone? This is called dopamine detoxification. In short, you limit yourself access to any source of dopamine that you can get. It is like fasting. Instead, you change video games with work, you change films and anime with self-improvement books, and you change chips with nuts. Basically, you cut everything that gives you pleasure, so that your only source of pleasure will be when you achieve your goals that will change your life, be it your looks, emotional state, or wealth. Let's try another example. You have probably heard about MrBeast, the young guy who grinded YouTube since he was 14. He is now 24 by the way. Even his nickname tells us that he left the monster inside him out. Did he think of any stuff like self-improvement? I don't think so. But what he did was being obsessed with one thing, and it took him a lot of time to succeed in the end. The difference from him and you is that he didn't have any dopamine source besides making YouTube videos. In fact, he was so addicted to YouTube that he has never tried to drink. MrBeast is a guy that unwillingly removed all his dopamine sources with an obsession, which ended up becoming a greater source of pleasure than anything else. And this is called the grind. This is what the monster inside you seeks. An occupation that will bring you more satisfaction than any game possibly could. Now, that's good, but how to find it? Throughout try and fail. You should try doing as many things as possible in order to find the one that will fit you. MrBeast got lucky by finding YouTube at a young age. Sure, you can put all the work in the world, but unless you get lucky, there's nothing you can do. I agree with that. However, the luckiest people are the ones that put the most work in what they do. How can you get lucky with YouTube if you don't do YouTube? How can you know if you like programming if you don't try writing code? The monster inside you, the one you fear, will not awaken unless you give him something to eat. He needs food, which is passion in our case, in order to function. Once you give him what you are obsessed with, only then will you become fearless and enjoy the grind. The scary thing that resides in you is slowly growing, because a healthy human with a functioning brain will get crazy at least once in his life and will become fearless. However, the age when most people do that is around 40 years old, when it is too late. Most successful people take risks during their whole life, and that is what you should be doing. It is now the time for you to try and fail. By 30 years old, you should already have a dozen of failed businesses, so that when you're 30, you can take the risk and finally build something successful with your past experience. The same applies to your love life. Try as much as possible so that after 100 requests you will finally get a date, and after another 100 dates you will finally be with the perfect one. The only way to become fearless is by trying and failing. It took 7 years for MrBeast, 5 years for Elon Musk, and 9 years for Jeff Bezos. Are they geniuses? Maybe, but with the average time of a business becoming profitable being 2 to 3 years, the stakes are even better than I make them sound. And the average millionaire makes his first million at 49, but keep in mind that most of them start at 40, so if you start at 20, your stakes are quite high. What is the take from here? Successful people are masochists that don't have a life until they make a shit ton of money. Also, if you start now, you have more chances to succeed and will have more time to enjoy your hard work. Now, what do you do? First, you remove your dopamine sources. Secondly, try and fail as much as you can. After a period of depression, you find what you like. Now the fun part starts. You grind for 10 years and are in constant depression. Finally, you become a masochist and enjoy being depressed. GG! You are 30, have nothing and want to die. Enjoy life. See ya!